From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, May 26th. A spectacular day, bright skies, near normal temperatures. If you're headed out to the track for Carb Day, it's going to be fantastic for that. A little breezy with the highs in the mid to upper 70s. Truly perfect conditions to be out there. Indy 500 race weekend. Brilliant weather trend rolls on into Legends Day on Saturday. Low humidity, lots of sunshine. Highs will be in the upper 70s. As far as race day Sunday, a little bit more cloud cover with highs around 80. Mostly dry. If anything develops, it will be very isolated showers. In breaking news overnight, 3 guilty verdicts in a high-profile murder case. A jury handed down the judgments against Elijah Jones, Nikia Shields, and Marcus Anderson overnight. They are convicted of robbing and murdering Chris Beaty during the 2020 downtown riots. Beaty was well known in Indianapolis and was a former football player at IU. Prosecutors say Anderson shot Beaty as Beaty tried to stop a robbery. They say Jones and Shields were part of the group who robbed Beaty and several others during the riots. All 3 are set to be sentenced on June 21st. The Indiana Medical Licensing Board says the Indianapolis doctor who performed an abortion on a 10-year-old from Ohio did not abide by privacy laws when she shared the story with a newspaper reporter. The case became a flashpoint in the national abortion debate as Indiana and other states added restrictions. The board fined and reprimanded Dr. Caitlin Bernard for speaking about the case. The board rejected claims from Indiana's Attorney General that Bernard also violated laws by not reporting the child abuse to Indiana authorities. Todd Rokita wanted Bernard's license suspended. The board found Bernard did not get consent from the girl's guardian before sharing the story.
So I think the consent issue is important. I think it would have been in the patient's, the young girl's best interest to just wait, get consent from the guardian first, and then present it.
Bernard maintains she did not break any privacy laws.
What are we reading?
I did not release any protected health information. I complied with all patient confidentiality and HIPAA laws to the best of my knowledge. And again, there was no information that I released that led to her being identified.
Bernard calls the Attorney General's claims a stunt. Todd Rokita's office sent us a new statement overnight describing it as a case about trust, saying, quote, "What if it was your child or your parent or your sibling who was going through a sensitive medical crisis and the doctor who you thought was on your side ran to the press for political reasons? It's not right, and the facts we presented today made that clear." Mayor Joe Hogsett is announcing a new set of policies to crack down on gun violence. The package of policies includes a ban on military-style weapons and an end to permitless carry. Another policy would raise the minimum age to purchase a firearm to 21 years old. Hogsett also announced the Marion County Prosecutor's Office has been instructed to penalize people who maintain properties where gun violence occurs. Hogsett also proposed pay increases for IMPD officers, retention bonuses for existing officers, and a $15 million grant for neighborhood organizations to reduce violence. The policies now go to the City County Council. If approved there, they would go into effect immediately. The founder of the Oath Keepers is sentenced to 18 years in prison. A judge handed down the punishment for Stuart Rhodes yesterday on seditious conspiracy charges. The judge in the case said without Rhodes, the Oath Keepers would not have been at the Capitol on January 6th, fueling the attack on the U.S. Capitol. 18 years is the longest sentence so far in the hundreds of criminal cases that have come from the riots. White House officials and Republican negotiators may be narrowing in on a deal to lift the nation's debt ceiling. President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy met again yesterday, but left without a deal in place. However, CNN and the AP cite anonymous sources who say Biden and McCarthy are considering raising the debt limit for 2 years and capping federal spending with exceptions of defense and veterans. The U.S. could face an unprecedented default as soon as June 1st. The sources say that sides are still split on work requirements for social safety net programs like Medicaid and SNAP. Biden and McCarthy say they hope to strike a deal this weekend. The Indianapolis International Airport is bracing for one of its busiest stretches of the year. The estimate? About 84,000 people flying in or out of the city over the weekend and holiday. The airport recommends arriving early and knowing before you go what you can and cannot take through security. And yes, we're 2 days away from the Indianapolis 500. So let's talk Talk Carb Day. If you're interested and headed out to the track, drivers have one last chance to practice ahead of the race. Gates opened at 8 o'clock this morning. Practice runs from 11 to 1. Then the pit crews will take center stage in the Indy 500 Pit Stop Challenge from 2:30 to 4. Gates for the concert featuring Bryan Adams and special guest Soul Asylum open at 3:30. The concert begins at 4. General admission tickets are $40. Children 15 and under do get in for free. Everything inside the track is cashless. There's a limited amount of free parking in Lot 7. Otherwise, there's paid parking. And Main Street and Speedway will be rocking all night as the Rockin' on Main Street showcase takes place on Carb Day. The annual event starts at 5 p.m. and aims to bring the community together ahead of the biggest weekend in the city's calendar. Live music, a variety of street vendors, food trucks, a vintage race car collection, and even art displays. There should be something for everyone. Admission to Rockin' on Main Street is free. Pools at several Indianapolis parks are set to open for the weekend, then close for several days of lifeguard training before the full summer schedule starts. Hours and admission prices will vary by location. Indy Parks reports progress in one area that has led to reduced schedules in recent years, hiring twice as many lifeguards as last year and still looking for more. We've got a full list of the pools right now on our website. Just head to wishtv.com and look for this story in the As Seen On section. And to business headlines, Americans are growing increasingly concerned that they won't be able to retire comfortably, according to a Gallup survey. Just 43% of non-retired adults think they have enough money to live comfortable when they retire. According to Gallup, that's the lowest level for that metric since 2012. A record low 19% of lower-income adults expect to live comfortably. Global investment in energy is slated to hit roughly $2.8 trillion in 2023. It's according to a new report from the International Energy Agency. The IEA's World Energy Investment Report said solar investments were expected to attract more than $1 billion a day in 2023. The IEA's projection is that coal, gas, and oil are still on course to attract slightly more than $1 trillion of investment this year. Orange lovers across the country should expect a sour surprise at the grocery store. Orange prices are now going up after the latest agriculture report reveals Florida farmers recorded the lowest orange crop in 90 years. The aftermath of back-to-back hurricanes in 2022, coupled with the devastating impact of citrus greening disease, has left farmers with record low profits. DirecTV has struck a multi-year deal with Everpass Media to commercially provide the NFL's Sunday ticket package. The agreement allows continuity for bars and restaurants, which have used DirecTV to bring out-of-market games to crowds on Sundays in previous years. The agreement, which kicks in for the 2023 season. Southwest Airlines has a sale through June 1st for flights throughout the summer and into the fall. According to the airline, travel under the deal generally must take place on Tuesdays or Wednesdays between June 13th and November 1st. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.